despite all the roasting that happened on the internet, I was unprepared for what this was going to be as a viewing experience. And I tried to be prepared. And then they had the Nets Bulls game with that red court.
That was the worst one.
It was it's an assault. It's an assault on rods and cones, your iris, any part of the eye. Any part of the eye. And so, Josh, you're an NBA player. Like you've been on courts before. You had talked about your experience with what was it, the Oregon court?
The Oregon court, yeah.
I was trying to explain it to my mom, and I showed her a picture, and my mom knows nothing about it. She's like, why? She was just like, why would they ever do that?
Is the right question.
It's a great question. I did not have an answer for her. But Josh, what do you think? What do you think the players thought of it? Like some guys were trying to be good company men, like, it's different. I gotta get used to it. But what did you think of the action? What did you think of the look of it all? What was your in-season tournament experience?
It was terrible, man. Like, listen, like all of them, it was all none of them looked good. Some were less ugly than others. That was the only thing I'll say. Like, I didn't mind like Cleveland's. Cleveland's was okay. As far as because it was a little bit more subtle,
it was
right. But then they went overboard. Like you're talking about the Bulls court, like that's out of control.
The Bulls court, the Heat court,
the Nuggets court might have been the worst.
You think so?
Yeah. The thing that set it apart for me was the 5028. It took me way too long to understand.
You didn't even get the mile.
You didn't get it right. Yeah. What do you think? Try again. This is a fun game. How many?
You're killing me, Petey.
It wasn't 5082. 5082.
No, also wrong. How many
5062?
No.
Jesus.
5026.
No, this could be the whole show for all I care.
American public school system is failing us.
Yeah, 5028.
I just want to thank my parents
for
doing what they could to provide me a great education.
Man. 5,280, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had no clue what that meant when I looked at it on a basketball court.
Mile High City.
It wasn't until one of my buddies texted me later to tell me that I realized what that meant.
Apparently, they got the 3-point line wrong on the Nuggets court and had to repaint it after shoot around. So that's how well this is going.
Yeah, and Grant Williams said that there was still the faint outline of the previous 3-point arc when they were playing the game.
This is what I'm talking about. Like when I mentioned like it's screwing with where the lines are. This is exactly it.
Yeah.
Like as a player, when you play long enough, you can just kind of like if you put a NBA player on the floor without a 3-point line and be like, all right, kind of guess where it is. It'd probably be pretty close.
Right.
But then all of a sudden you blend it in with the court, or now all of a sudden there's 2 lines apparently. Like that's going to screw with the game.
Like Josh, if you went to like a, I don't know, like a 24-hour fitness or LA gym or whatever, and you step on the court and you see whatever they put the line at, does it trick you? Does it hit your mind a little bit of like trying to recorrect what you've seen a 3-point line as for the distance? Or do you just go like, why is this thing 19 feet?
It's honestly, it becomes like a mid-range jumper when you go to a place like that. Like if you go to like a high school or something like that, but it can mess with you a little bit because if you're playing fast, you just see the 3-point line, you assume it's a certain distance, and then you throw it off the backboard. But 3-point shooting wasn't exactly my specialty, so maybe I'm not the right person to ask.
So Damian Lillard was asked on ESPN about the in-season tournament after the game. This is what he said. It said basically like, do you like this? How was your experience? He said, quote, "It's weird because the energy, you can tell like something is happening, but it's new. So I'm not really sure what the hell is going on. I don't really know what's going on. Something's going on. It seems like a moment, the court, the uniforms, TV game and all that, but I don't think nobody really knows what's going on. We're just trying to get to Vegas." And I thought, we're just trying to get to Vegas, or it seems like a moment is perfect marketing. Absolutely perfect marketing.
Bones Highland was my favorite. Because
yes.
He's like, I have no clue what's going on, but I do know there was a trophy next to certain games on the schedule. And that's the only thing that tipped me off.
Yeah.
This is a trophy on the schedule.
This is what I mentioned at the beginning. Like these players, most of them don't care.
Yeah.
The ones that just want to win like an actual NBA championship, I think if you talk to teams that like actually have a shot at winning the whole thing, probably like it doesn't even register, right? They just want to win games. But
I
the
can't
younger teams,
I can't remember what game it was Friday night, but there was some game where Quentin Richardson was on the NBA app, like kind of like doing like a sidecast for it, like doing, you know, his own commentating on the game. And he was with Darrell Wright was there. And it was the fourth, whatever it was a fourth quarter. It might have been the Warriors game, Warriors Thunder game.
There was a Warriors Thunder game.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Warriors Thunder game, and they had Kevin Durant on in the fourth quarter. And Q, I don't know if Q was like being a company man or if he legitimately feels this way, but he was like very positive about the in-season tournament. He's like, he said something like, yo, this is great. You know, like, you know, it's a championship, right? Like you got to view it like it's a championship to win the tournament. And I just, the entire time he was talking and he was like talking this up, I was just watching Kevin Durant's face the entire time. Like, just because he was just like, you could tell he wanted to shit on what was being said, but he just didn't. But I don't see, I think that for the teams, I think a couple of teams will be like aware of it as an organization, but I don't think teams will really get it until they find out, hey, you're going to Vegas in December. Right? Like you are going to, like, you made it. You made the top 8. I think that's when teams will be more aware of it, where it's not just like to have the group play baked into the schedule is smart from a logistical standpoint, but I don't know, players didn't do anything different.
I have a question. Why didn't they play all these tournament games on the same day or weekend?
Because the schedule's a motherfucker. Like that's
I guess. Yeah, that has to be it. But it just it would make so much more intuitive sense if there was just a weekend dedicated to in-season tournament games.
I wonder if we'll get to that someday, right? Like 5 years from now, 6 years from now, where they'll be able to make that like, hey, the month of November is in-season tournament month or something, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Then we had Tyrese Halliburton come out and say he wishes it'd be an automatic playoff berth for the winner. It's like, that's the regular season, man. That's the whole entire point of the regular season.
Look, man, that Pacers
play
team
82 games for that.